everyone, and welcome to Kathryn Reads Midnight Sun in Dutch, Chapter 6, Bloedhoop. As of recording this, only 2 episodes of this series have been released, which, yay for Kathryn being on top of things, but that also means that the previous videos really don't acknowledge all the people who have left comments and have been correcting my Dutch and explaining things to me, which I greatly appreciate. From the bottom of my heart, thank you to everyone who's leaving me comments, because I'm having a great time because I'm learning so much right now. It's awesome. I like this chapter because there's more action involved. It's the chapter where Edward skips biology because they're doing blood group testing. And just going into this chapter, I had some funny moments. So I saw this word, aardig. I was thinking, this reminds me of a word, but I couldn't place it. So I sat there thinking, let's deconstruct the word. IG is an indication that the word is an adjective. So if you take that off, you have aard. Aard means earth. So I was thinking that aardig must mean earthy. But in the context of the sentence, it really didn't make sense that somebody would be called earthy. So I was trying to think, well, could it mean natural? But that also didn't make sense. So I looked it up, and aardig means nice. And I was very shocked by this. So I thought, okay, well then what does earthy translate to? Which is aards with an S. And that led me down this whole little rabbit hole because in Dutch, because fun, you can do plurals with an S, you can do plurals with an EN, or you just have some words that you can choose. Apples or appelen. Both are correct and you can choose. Anyway, since I thought aards could possibly also be plural for earth, I looked that up and no, it's aarden. I don't know why aardig, which has a base word of earth, means nice. And so that's something that's been rolling around in my mind since I read the chapter. And I wanted to share that with you. That was a long tangent that my mind went on when reading. And then I had this funny little moment because I saw this word, wankelen. Okay, here's the whole thing. Wankelen sort of reminded me of the British term wank, which means to masturbate. And I had a great laugh about this. And I swear I will never forget the meaning of this word because I looked it up because I was thinking, could it mean to masturbate? Oh, it doesn't. It means to falter, but I had a good time with that. Now let's complain about something. I complained about this before, and I have my nifty Dutch book that shows the conjugation. You can say ik rook, which depending on the context, because I guess the Dutch just ran out of words, it can mean I smoke or I smelled. Ik rook, and you see in present tense, R-O-O-K, and we roken, R-O-K-E-N. And then you have the other verb, ruiken, which is to smell. And if you go to the past tense, it's ik rook, R-O-O-K, we roken, R-O-K-E-N. Why did you do that? That is so mean. Every time I see rook, I just assume that it's smoke. And then I have this whole moment where I'm so confused because it doesn't make sense to smoke a smell. But it does make sense to smell a smell. I don't like that. Why did you do it? No. I'm gonna start a petition on changing the verbs because no. No. Okay, now we're going to get to the worst sentence of this book. Let's set the scene. Jessica and Bella are in the lunchroom, and Jessica says to Bella, Edward Collins zit weer naar je te staren. And I read this sentence, and I didn't understand it, because it literally translates to Edward Collins sits, again, at you to stare. What the heck is that supposed to mean? Because even if you move it around so that it sort of makes sense, it's Edward sits again to stare at you. And I'm trying to translate it in my head and it's not working. I consult Prince Charming about it. And then finally, I go to the little grammar section of the book. Here's the issue with languages, is that sometimes you have things that just don't exist. The continuous tense doesn't exist, and the emphatic mood doesn't exist. Ik lees. It can translate to I read, I am reading, I do read. And these don't mean the same things in English. Now, it just so happens that in Dutch, you have phrases that you can use to show progressive action. For example, you can use to be with aan het and a verb. Ik ben aan het lezen. But then you have these positional verbs that you can use with te and infinitive to show progressive action, and zitten, liggen, and staan are the 3 verbs. And it just so happens that that's what this sentence is. It's using one of those tenses, or not tenses, but the verbs to sit. So he sits to stare at you, and that's I read that last night and I could not for the life of me understand the sentence. And then when I looked it up, I remember, oh yeah, that's right. I learned that back in level 2 or level 1. I forgot. So it's a good thing. But then there was this other sentence that threw me for a loop, and I have been researching this all morning, and I think I sort of get it, but I'm not sure. And that is, ik begrijp echt niet waar je het over hebt. I don't like it. And then the worst sentence that I came across was, ik vraag me af waar dit aan ligt. And this is just one of those sentences that it has a separatable verb, it uses prepositions that we just won't use in English, because this whole sentence translates to, I wonder why it is. It makes my brain hurt so much. But the overall best thing in this book was that there are some points where Edward's talking to the administrative people. I think it was the secretary or something. And he uses formal you, and that's so cool because I find that really interesting because it's something that doesn't exist in my language. So seeing that in literature and how that would play out versus how somebody would talk to different people in different ways is really cool for me. Then to end the video, I sort of have a question for you because there's this scene where Edward and Bella are talking in the cafeteria. And Edward is sort of being cryptic with his answers to her. And so she says in the original version, in plain English, do you want to be my friend? And it was translated in the text in gewoon Engels, which I thought that was weird because they're not speaking English in here. So shouldn't it be in gewoon Nederlands? And so I don't know the choice behind that. So I was wondering, first, is that an expression that you use in Dutch, in gewoon Engels? Or do you think that was something that was kept because the book is supposed to take place in the US and it was just translated so people can understand it, and so that's why it was kept? And would you say in gewoon Nederlands? So like if somebody was being weird and you just wanted it to be in plain, simple language, how would you express that? So I hope that you enjoyed this one. If you did, give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I love hearing from you guys, so say hello in the comments below. Hit the subscribe button. I know you guys watch my videos and you don't want to be my friend. I don't think that should keep you up at night or anything. I mean, it should, but I wouldn't want it to. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Tot ziens, mijn appelziens. Ik volgde haar de hele dag door andere mens ogen en was mij nauwelijks bewust van mijn eigen omgeving. Niet door de ogen van Mike Newton, want hij kan zijn aanstoot herwenden.